This is your winning daily market recap from Tuesday, April 26, 2022. Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well.
This is Dan Max at EXPI Realty, aka the Trading Agent. This is your daily market recap for Tuesday, April 26, 2022. Let's get into it. Again, if you are newer to trading, newer to just understanding of what's going on in the markets, you're trying to learn, you're trying to gain an edge, please check out the Discord room. Link is in the description below. We have been absolutely murdering it. And when I say murdering it, not to brag, it's just we saw this coming. We're executing, we're trading accordingly. We're leveraging up, we're leveraging down as things move in our favor. We don't assume the markets go in one direction 365 days a year. Even though we love metals, materials, and all sorts of things, we have plans in place to hedge and act accordingly. Again, if you have questions, please stop by. Feel free to ask me questions. And once you do, dig into these side channels. There's tons of free content here. I'm not a beginner here. This is not for babies and people who just don't want to learn. I mean, there's lots of good content to grow. This is about you becoming a better trader. People can help influence others to be better, and that's kind of my goal. I hope that helps. Bitcoin, we've been spot on about this. We talked about the VAP zone. We said this looked like a bull trap because it wasn't acting well. Now what's happening? You are at trend lows. I've said this a billion times, and I'm not going to change my tune. I think Bitcoin is a retail outlet for digital currencies. I don't believe it ultimately will be the best currency. I don't know that for a fact. I think it has to be traded. Ultimately, could it go higher? No doubt about it, because the dollar will be devalued. But just remember, it's not a risk-off type of product. The dollar currently is, which sucks to say, and bonds are usually bought when things are going down, meaning stocks, commodities, all that stuff. So just keep that in mind. Bitcoin is not a hedge for down markets. I just like to warn people that, because it literally peaked in November, exactly when the NASDAQ peaked. If you don't doubt it, let's just go right to the NASDAQ and check it out real quick. Because you can see November, the market peaked. In November, Qs peaked. So did the Qs, or so did Bitcoin. TLT. As always, we start here. This thing is, I mean, again, I think money's flowing into the bond market, but it's being very, very sneaky. Remember, we talked about the end of the move is the breakout of the channel. Now we're getting back in there. You can't even see that little damn doji. It's so damn small. Hey, little doji. There it is. We're back in the channel. Now what? 20-day. 20-day, 20-day, 20-day. That is your next resistance. Needs to get over it. Keep it simple. Zadala. All right. I got to call some people out because they're saying they are shorting the dollar. And here's the thesis of me talking it through. Here is the UUP. Resistance, 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 resistance. Oh shit, breaking out of resistance. Higher lows, higher highs. What do you think? Now again, we're evidence-based. We're not sitting here trying to create our own theses based on what we want to see. Again, I'd love to see the damn dollar get smashed. I'd love for the fucking feds to have to actually be fiscally disciplined. But guess what? There's other countries and there's other places in the world that are just as bad as fiscal and monetarily wise as we are. And so we talked about this. Once it broke out of the channel, it's probably going to go screaming higher. Could this be the end of the move? Of course it could. But just keep in mind, the hardest part of this kind of trade is to pick the bottom and the top after the breakout of the channel. I mean, think about the TLT. You know, the only reason why we called the TLT bottom is we had a reference, right? We had the monthly. Look at this. We had these references down here on the monthly channel, right? The dollar. I don't know. I don't know where this thing stops. Let's pull up the monthly again. Maybe mid 27s. Can it get up to the 29? I don't know, but I'm not shorting it right now. Like, that's just, to me, again, I'm not trying to be mean to the folks who were talking about it, who wanted to buy it and said, hey, I've got 6 months in puts and I can hold out. 6 months from now, there's a lot of things you could be doing your money with, and one of them is trading the market and letting things move around and trading the volatility. Again, I love when the VIX is high because there's opportunities both ways, up and down. And so locking yourself into 6 months or like a long-term thesis in the dollar short here, I get it. I completely understand the long-term thought. Near term, debt destruction, dollar goes higher. It's just how it always is, you know. The VIX, again, what have we said, folks? Let me redraw some of these trend lines because I don't have them better on my other. There you go, something like that. W, boom. Higher lows. Is a higher high coming? Okay. Here's the thing about the VIX. We all know it's crash underway. Come on, keep in mind 31 levels. How high can it go? I'm not going to call that at this point. I'm just going to say that I think we can get to the upper part of the range, which is middle 35 to 40s. Keep in mind, the Feds are stuck. The headlines today are housing up 20% year over year. Unemployment's near record lows. I mean, the Feds are stuck. They're fucking absolutely stuck, man. And at that point, I don't know how they're going to manufacture a soft landing, because what the market's going to do is going to call their bluff. That's what happens most times than not. And the market will pull back in front of it. I mean, let's just get into it. Keep in mind, probably upper 30s, maybe low 40s, maybe even 50s. Who the fuck knows? Let's go back in the time machine, because I know a lot of people have not been trading that long. Let's go back to September 2018. When? What? The Feds were going to start raising interest rates. Where are we? Come on. Here we are. We're going to start raising rates. Oh, it's going to be okay. Everything's fine. No, the market took a fucking monster dive. Seasonality-wise, it was perfectly lined up. Year ending in 8, actually. But point being is, I don't think we're at this move yet. That's all I'm saying. So if you remember the VIX from 2018, let's just go right back to it. We'll pull it up on the weekly real quick so you can see it, what it did. You had the spike up into the 50s. I don't think you can call a bottom. I don't think you should call a bottom in the market until the VIX gets to at least 45 or 50. This manufactured soft landing, not happening. Not happening, especially when you blow the bubble 8 times bigger. Just keep that in mind, y'all. So let's get into the SPY, because this is what this is where the money is being made, y'all. Shorting novice gap. We shorted the shit out of this. Sold naked calls. Still got them running. Still got them running. Where do we start when we start a swing trade? On the monthly. Channel high. Coming into the 20-month. What have we said? We better watch and hold the 400 level. At this point, I just don't think it makes sense, because notice what we're making is lower highs with wicks. Again, is this a bear market? I don't know, but at worst, there's a monster correction coming. Can we all agree on that? And again, the average person is still trying to buy dips. They're still anticipating the Feds are going to soft land or whatever. Like, they can't. The Feds are like, and again, don't take this personal. It's like watching someone on a wheelchair try to do the pommel horse and like jump off of it. Like, they're just going to crash. Like, just think of somebody in a situation that doesn't make any sense working out in their favor. It just doesn't. It can't work. Because again, the problem is when you pump these bubbles, right? The leverage is only increasing. And so once the unwinds, that means the bigger the down. So SPY, again, SPY, yeah, sorry. I'm trying to think of an analogy that's PC that won't get me in trouble, but I couldn't really figure one out. But just keep in mind, they're not going to be able to do it, you know? It's like expecting your 16-year-old kid not to get into a crash when you get him a new car. It's like, come on, he's going to fuck that up. 20-month, yeah, here's the cues. This is what we're talking about. Like, here we go. We're at the range lows. Now, this is, as we speak, these are the reference points that matter. If this is a rally and failing, what should happen? Next range lows come into play. Be around 300, which isn't that far away technically. And again, I wouldn't be surprised if, and people don't want to hear this who like to bear and bull aggressively. I like the chop. I like to see the down up, the down up, the down up, the bigger up, then the bigger down. You see how that works? Like straight line moves. Again, every day is not going to be in your favor. If you understand that and you layer in, you layer out, you think about the markets as a mechanism for taking money. Like they don't give money for straight line moves all the time. Just keep that in mind. So the Qs, it feels like it's gonna go lower, but we got to see. Maybe Microsoft or Google or one of these Apple tech names that are coming up in earnings saves the market for a couple days. And guess what? If you were a bear, listen in. Pop a pause, grab a coffee, listen in. You want to see a pop here, because if you get a pop and then a fail, bull trap leading to a monster smash later. That's all I'm saying. You heard it here first. Keep in mind, that's the best moves trap the most amount of people. Well, look at this level. If everybody's buying here, and I mean everybody, look for the pop to be the flop. I'm sorry. Man, I'm fighting this, whatever the fuck it is. So, put that in your notes. You'd love to see a pop here because, again, it's very obvious as a reference point. It's just like this one. Everyone's like, oh, it's a head and shoulders bottom. I'm like, okay, it's not going to be potentially, but that trap in itself brought what? The bullishness back in. It got the bears to wipe out a little bit. That's okay. Every day isn't in your favor. Love the high VIX, because the high VIX is what? Means trade the fucking market. Buy and hold, good luck. Short and hold, depends. Just, again, you got to be a trader. IWM, range low, same kind of thing. Any little bounce would be, in my opinion, welcomed. Because, again, at this point with the VIX at the 31 level, I'd love for it to pull back to 26, 27. I'd love for the bulls to get a little bit of confidence and say, look at that, it's a triple bottom. Triple bottom, okay, sure. No, more of it's a dead cat bounce. But also be aware, like whenever you see channels, shit, I mean, let's roll into gold, because this is going to be a perfect situation. Sometimes you want the test. Sometimes you want, that's the daily. Sometimes you want the test. You're like, here you go, you back off. You go and you back off. I guarantee much higher in time. Big cup and handle. But this chopping out is shaking out the shitty hands. It's shaking out the pumpers. It's shaking out all the idiots. And guess what? If you are a gold bull long term, you love this action because, again, it's very much like you're seeing with the QQQ. Like, if it's going to go lower, you want to trap more people. What is going on currently in the gold market? I mean, in my opinion, it's just seasonality. It sucks. If you have not been paying attention, we talked about this. I mean, literally, there's videos and talk about it every single freaking day. Seasonality for gold sucks in Q2. Typically does. It's just a seasonality thing. Again, I warn people, you own gold. Do you think it goes up every day of the year? Then you are an idiot. And I don't mean that in a mean way. I mean that in like, you are the sucker. You are the person that can never sell, that the market maker loves because they know you can't sell. You leverage up near the highs and then you puke it at the lows. And then they Daniel Day-Lewis from There Will Be Blood. They sip your milkshake. They sip it up. They take it all up because you bought here big, and now you dump down here to them at the lows. That's what's going to happen at some point. So, again, don't get milkshaked because we didn't. Again, I may have gotten out a little early and a little late, but you know what? I got most of the move, and sometimes you just got to be happy that you're not long. Sometimes. Guess what? We're holding 177 area. That's what you need to see. I don't trust it near term, meaning that's great. Any bounce, I mean, here's my expectations. Chop, 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 then go in June or July. People don't want to hear that. But guess what? You will learn if you don't that the markets do not move in your favor every single day. And once people learn that, and then they try to day trade, and then they realize they can't predict every moment of every day, they start realizing, I need to change as a person. So again, gold, silver. Again, leave it alone. It's probably due to bounce. Not going to argue that. We're at these channel lows, but it's like buying the Qs here. Do you want to buy the Qs for a trade, or you just want to let it pop and then short it? I'm not going to short I'm not going to short silver because I love silver. It's just like, it's like picking on your little brother. It's not fair. But look, Wait for the 20 area, 19. Pray it back tests. You see this trend line here? Let's blow this thing up. Pray to Allah, pray to Jesus, pray to the Easter Bunny, pray to anybody that'll listen to your thoughts. Because if you get back to this area in the 15s, call me, because we're all gonna, what I want people to do, let's go in and again, people need to like, we'll create a group. We'll buy like 10 or 15 futures contracts, and we'll just buy up tons of silver ounces and sell them off by the ounce. We'll be precious metal drug dealers. That's what I would do if it gets there. But at this point, leave it alone. Just be patient. Just be patient. I know it's so hard, the patience word. Nobody has it. Nobody has it. Nobody has patience. They never do. They never do. So on that note, let's get into the GDX. What did we say? 35 level or 36. It got to get over it. Oh, you hit it to a T today. What was the high today? 36.01. Back at range lows. Again, when you are a bull and you liquidate and you hedge and you sell deep in the money calls and you understand seasonality, this action feels like it's an absolute gift because you're not worried. Like, you're not sitting here going, FOMO, it's going to continue higher. No, we provide evidence why it was going to drop. I want bigger down moves. Again, if the market does get liquidated, keep in mind, nothing is safe. Your GDX, your silver, your gold, all becomes a part of the game of liquidation. Nobody's safe. And if that's the case, pray that it comes down and you're not sitting there with your dick in your hand hoping to get a ride, because you're not. You better jack it and get off the pot. GDXJ, I mean, same thing, 29. I mean, let's just go through all of them real quick. Let's do them. AEM. Pullback. Breaking possible trend. Look for it in the 47, 48. AG, we talked about this not leading up. When this thing wasn't leading up, as the market, the gold market is getting higher, now it's coming back into support. Pray, though. Again, here you go. Pray. Maybe it gets back to this trend line. If it gets back to $5 or $6, Dad's going all in, and Dad won't be scared of that either. Meaning, big boys will not be scared. You shouldn't be either. Newmont, this was a hard one. Called the top approximately, close enough. 83, 84. It got to 86, and gap down. Earnings were dog shit. Again, I don't like these big mega caps sometimes in these markets. I mean, I just don't think they have, especially in materials, sometimes they just don't act as well. They are not acting well after that monster run up. Again, with a 5% year-over-year growth, pricing in that stock went up almost 100%. I don't think it has value, a ton of value. PAAS, same kind of thing. Wait for the 21 range. Let's get into the material sector, because this is another one. We did not sit here with our dick in our hand hoping that we were going to win all year. We said this ended up being the 20-month. We talked about hitting the 100-month. Look at that. This is why you zoom out, folks. This is why you zoom out. Boom, hit it, fail. What did we say? M top, break the 20-day, adios. Now we're getting back into some prices. Now again, here's my relation to praying. Pray that you get the 21, 22 area, because that would be absolutely sick. Like, that would be a sick scoop of the X, because I think X is going much higher. VALE, same kind of thing. I'm tempted to buy it down here, and Percy, if you're listening, you're getting into the prayer level, but one of the things that you have to keep in mind, right? What's the market doing? Market does not look good. The higher the VIX means they will stretch this beyond the prayer level. Could it get down to 11 or 12? I don't know. But what do you have to do in your mind? Like, what is the probability mindset saying here? It's probably not time to start adding. All right. Well, again, I like it at 15, 16. If you would have told me 3 weeks ago at 21, you could buy it at 15, I'd probably going, oh, I got to buy it. But now I look on what's going around the world, and meaning looking at the market, I'm not saying I need to buy it right here. Because again, if it does bounce and the market ends up going lower, I don't think VALE is going to be immune from the pain train. Because everything's in it. I mean, even everything will get hit by the pain train. It just is what it is. If you can't understand that, that's the pain train. Market's closed. Cool. We'll review a little bit at the end. CCJ, again, I like uranium. I like the pricing of uranium. I like the uranium stocks, but I'm not buying them. because they're getting fucking liquidated. Now again, where would it be the proper? Where would be your Hail Mary hope and pray zone? Somewhere around here. Now keep in mind, you don't need me to give you a heads up. Like, draw the shit on your charts, and if you see these levels, you can start scalping or you can start buying in. Remember, we don't enter a trade fully at one price. We kind of enter and we watch and see what happens. And then if it retests and if it looks like it's holding and it takes its time, great. We buy more. Because what if it does go lower? I mean, I wouldn't mind it at 21. Shit, I'd love it at 19. I don't know. It's just that simple. Mosaic. Again, I love the fertilizer names. Love, 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 love. But guess what? I'm not going to be the one who's trying to pick the bottom here. I just don't really have any desire to, you know? It's just... It's gone on such a big fucking move. 33 to 80s. Let it run. Let it pull back. Excuse me, not let it run. CF holding the 100-day for dear life. Again, everything will get liquidated if the market pulls back. Let's get into the specials because I have so many haters who love to attack me for calling QQQs dog shit and tech shit the last couple months. Again, I was wrong in 2001. I will not argue that. But I knew we were close. It's just a matter of staying solvent. Range channel highs, head and shoulders fail. Said the 80s are coming. We added to the shorts at 125. We only had one opportunity, so we don't have as many shares as we'd like. We'd like to have a monster position, but instead we have a sizable, nice position that you're comfortable with. This has been utter destruction. I show people the AMD monthly and they go, no way it's going back to single digits. I don't know that, but it's had moments. I tell people once semiconductors become a commodity and that they are very, interchangeable, pricing power goes out the fucking window. And that's where you see the semiconductor industry go dog shit. It's not like you don't need more semiconductors in the future. People misunderstand that. It's just that semiconductors get built so well during a tech bubble, they become a commodity where everybody's building great chips. And once everybody's building the same great fucking chip, there's no pricing power. They can't raise prices. And once they can't raise prices, boom! Timba! 200-day on Apple. See you at 150 soon. I've got some shorts from up here that I took half off, and I can't find a reason to cover. Why? Because we're making lower lows, you motherfuckers. No, I'm just trying to be funny, but that's the real truth. The action doesn't say. We say we watch the 200-day, not surprised it bounced. But again, one day doesn't make a trend. I'm always amazed how people, every uptick against them changes their mind. I'm hoping people pause and start thinking in their mind like, look at the damn chart. Up and down, choppy, 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 up and down, everywhere. One day does not make a trend. Not every time it's like this. It's like this. Sometimes it's like this. Sometimes it's like that. Sometimes it's like this. Sometimes it's like that. This is the anomaly, folks. This is the norm. Look at this action. Choppy. Choppy, sloppy. Again, let's look at some other bottoms. Choppy, sloppy. Choppy, sloppy. Choppy, sloppy. Toppy. Oop, exhaustion. Oop, exhaustion. I mean, it happens sometimes, but it's not the norm. And so if you're not looking at the overall market, sometimes you're blindsided by what might be happening. MicroStrategy. What do we say? Bitcoin fails. This is going to fail. Well, MicroStrategy kind of implying what? Do I need to say it? Failure. Roblox. Oh my God, this is just crazy. Let's wait for the volume to spike. I want to see somebody be able to stop the falling knife, the falling cat, the dead cat bounce. No, that's not really a bounce. That's like a slam dunk. Yep, keep it as it is. Tesla, man, Elon is in the sights of the big boys because he's got to borrow a ton of money and he gets what he used as collateral. Tesla stock, now he's become a target like Kathy Wood. SpaghettiOs. 200-day, this is not good for the QQQ. I think you guys can see, I don't have it driven here, but I have it here. We are at the major inflection trend for the near term. Better hold. Wow, that could get ugly quick. PENN Gaming. Dead. Leave it alone. I don't even know why I'm talking about it because I do like talking about Portnoy. He's hilarious. He's an idiot, but he's funny. He's entertaining. It's kind of like people who hate Trump. You know what? I don't personally like the guy, but he's entertaining. He makes me laugh. The shit he says is hilarious. The stuff that the obviousness that he brings out in certain circumstances can either be looked as a negative and offensive, or you can like the Dave Chappelle kind of comedy. I just like making fun of the obvious stuff. Sometimes in both sides, you can be left and right are stupid. Both the extremes are stupid. Nobody's perfectly right. There's no in life, as we all know, black and white is not really the color of how reality is. It's some sort of gray shade in between. Talked about this, better holding. Liquidation, nothing safe. You've been warned. Oh man, EXPI. So here's an example of holding something and being wrong. Meow. Unfortunately, I got shares locked up. I can't really do much with it. I bought extra shares. I like it down here below 20s. I just don't know if it's coming back anytime soon. I don't know. Hey, I am vulnerable. I make mistakes. It's just tough to sell this thing at these prices. And that's the thing. I've been there before. I remember holding satellite radio stocks thinking they would come back and rally someday. And that ended up being pretty damn costly because they didn't. I think Sirius is still at $6. XOP. Oh, it's coming back to the 20-day. With this type of steep incline, that's hard to predict. Keep that in mind. Like the steeper something is, the harder it is to get that bounce. I like this action. You filled the gap. Nice. And then it closed at the low of the day. That's not bullish. Technicians will warn all sorts of things, and I will just say, go to the monthly chart and tell me that you're going to be able to get over the IPO price, the 0.382, the 100-month resistance zone, all right here. On the first test, get the fuck out of here. Been trading way too long. There's too much resistance up there. And again, overbought, bullish, bearish divergences. I don't need any of that shit. The thing has gone from 35 up to 147 as oil has rallied. Demand destruction. These things priced in insane oil prices. What happens if the feds can't manufacture the soft landing? Oil is going to get slammed. So will XOP. It's kind of anticipating it. Just watch. Trade it. Trade it too. Trade it. You've got a trend now. You've got a top. Now you can trade it. ExxonMobil. Oh. Again, this is why I'm bearish. The oil names. Look at that. Perfect touch of the 20-day. Fail. 50-day. What do you see to the left? 50-day. Held. What happens if 50-day fails, folks? See you at the hundo. See you at what I said. Go back to old videos. I'm like, please give me then the low 70s. I would like to see ExxonMobil on the back test of this trend line. All right. A lot of interesting things going on. Let's check out the SPY. The close. Definitely closed near the low of the days. That's dangerous. But again, we're not making new lows. Keep that in mind. QQQ closed at new lows and broke the trend line right here. However, we were at range lows. Keep an eye on it. Let's actually let's do a little do I have briefing? Yeah, I'm doing it. This is what I love. I like to use briefing.com. I am not that robot. Let's see if any earnings news have come out, because then we can go check the reactions. If you gotta go, you gotta go. Check out. All right, Microsoft beat. Who else? General Motors, whatever. Texas Instruments. Not good. Alphabet, of course. Oh shit. Okay, they beat on revs. All right, so let's go back to charts. Let's see what Mr. Softy is doing. Let's go look at the 10-man. Oh shit. Wide and loose. I don't know, man. Sometimes the news comes out and then the CEO will speak and say something and it'll get it bouncing back up. That's not bullish at the moment though. Let's look at Senior Goog. Oh god damn. Well, bulls, it was nice meeting you guys. All right, the video's over. Bulls are dead. No, I'm just kidding. If you get a big gap down tomorrow in the market, Be aware that the end of the month is coming. It could get sloppy and choppy. That's all I'm going to say. At this point, it does seem very likely what? The Qs are going to break the lows. Let's go look at the 10 minutes on the Q. Oh, yeah, 313. Well, bulls, be careful. Now, again, what I wanted was a bounce and trap. Maybe we get a flop and pop later back to 320 area. Or 317. So it could also now come into play. I apologize. Drop, pop, flop. All right, that's all this movie. I could talk forever, but I'm not going to. Save your time. I appreciate everybody. Again, please like, subscribe, throw a comment in if you have something funny you want to respond with. I appreciate the content, anything responding. It's always funny to me. Stop by the Discord room. Link is in the description below.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, the PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.